Are the Eternals going to show up in Avengers 4? Well, some new casting information leads us to believe that they will. We are breaking it all down. This is the Nerdy News Rundown. Let's get you filled in. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you guys are having a good Cyber Monday, getting all of the good deals out there on the interwebs. Hey, we're doing a little bit of a Cyber Monday deal ourselves. If you go to the Den of Nerds swag shop and you put the promo code in there, CyberNerd, you will get 20% off of your purchases. This is only going to last for today. So if you've been on the fence about getting some Den of Nerds merch, go check out the swag shop. I'll link it below, and you can get 20% off of your purchase today with the promo code CyberNerd. Now, before we get into the news, I need to shout out Royale, who got the nerd card question correct on the news show from Black Friday. You definitely know your stuff when it comes to Marvel Comics, so shout out to you, Royale. And we will do another nerd card question at the end of this video. And real quick, let's do an update on Avengers 4 Trailer Watch 2018. If you have been following the absolute fever pitch hype that is surrounding the Avengers 4 trailer, the date you're going to want to look at this week is Wednesday. On Wednesday, Collider is doing a special screening and Q&A with the Russo brothers at the ArcLight Theater in Hollywood. A lot of people are speculating that the people there will get a little teaser treat of the Avengers 4 trailer, and then it will drop online later. So Wednesday is the best date we have so far. Keep an eye out for that. And of course, if it does drop on Wednesday, we will cover it here on the channel in depth. So let's get into this story about the Eternals. Now, this story comes from Daniel of the Super Bros Movies podcast, and he claims to have insider information knowing that Marvel Studios is casting two of the Eternals right now. Now, if you haven't been up to speed on all of this, let's fill you in. Basically, the Eternals are the people that were on Titan. They are Thanos' people. They're all pretty powerful. They have different abilities and different kind of like mutation-like things that go on. Thanos, of course, has the deviant gene of the Eternals. That's why he looks the way that he does, but the Eternals themselves are going to get their very own movie. Now, the Eternals are kind of an obscure comic book. I mean, it's actually really hard to find these comics out there. They're not even available on most digital distribution platforms, and it's just like Marvel to take something really obscure, kind of like they did with Guardians of the Galaxy, and make a big franchise out of it. So a lot of people are very excited to see what's going to come of the Eternals, although we originally speculated that the Eternals movie was likely to be about 1 million years before the current timeline in the MCU. But with this new story, that might be brought into question. So Daniel from the Super Movie Bros podcast does say that these two characters are being cast right now, and that his sources are hinting that this is because these two characters, which are now being referred to as Sprite and Karen, these two characters are likely to show up in either a cameo role or post-credit role on the new movies, either Avengers 4 or Captain Marvel. This coincides with a lot of stories we've been hearing recently about how Marvel is streamlining the production on the Eternals movie. A lot of people have speculated that this is because they have had to sort of shelve Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was going to be an avenue for a lot of the cosmic, bigger level multiverse stuff that Marvel wants to introduce audiences to. So they sort of need a new franchise that can deal with deep space, and I think that the Eternals are the perfect solution to the problem that they are in. So the Eternals are perfect because they are so old. They would know a lot about the inner workings of not only our universe, but the multiverse itself. They would have knowledge of greater threats beyond Thanos, and they would be very powerful and able to help our current set of Avengers, post-Avengers 4, accomplish the things they need to on a grand scale. Now, as far as speculating on where this cameo or post-credit scene will show up, my money is actually on Avengers 4 and not Captain Marvel. Here's why. I think that the post-credit scene of Captain Marvel should really hype up Avengers 4. I mean, not that it needs it. I mean, we're all well aware that Avengers 4 is like one of the most hyped things of all time, but I think the perfect solution to a post-credit scene at the end of Captain Marvel would be like, from her perspective, what happened when she got the beep from Nick Fury and how she then plans to go to Earth. I think that would be really cool and sort of perfectly set up the hype for Avengers 4. Now, after Avengers 4, we're going to be looking at a whole new MCU. I mean, a lot of people have speculated about this. We're hearing little things here and there that Phase 4 is going to be completely different. Something really big's happening, a lot of quantum realm stuff. I'm, of course, working on this big set of videos with Al Schuler. You guys have been hearing me talk about this a lot. Very excited to share with you guys the quantum realm theory that we are building, but it sort of makes sense to hype this sort of a thing after Avengers 4, especially if the movie does not actually take place a million years before our current MCU, but instead will focus on what is remaining of the Eternals in the future, past Avengers 4. And there's a number of different ways they could do this. There could be Eternals from a different version of Earth or one of the realities within the multiverse. There could be pockets of Eternals that are still around that weren't destroyed after Titan was destroyed, right? So this could be like, Star Fox, different people that are associated with Thanos. And speaking of Thanos, I think it would be very interesting if he is not actually killed, but is instead sort of given back to his people or sort of imprisoned the same way that they did Loki to the Asgardians after Avengers 1. And the reason I think this would be really cool is because if there is a multiversal threat, if they are building towards the eventual secret wars of the MCU, they want Thanos to be alive. A lot of people will be attached to him, and just having him pop in here and there as we go throughout the story in Phase 4 would be amazing. One of my favorite aspects of Jonathan Hickman's Running Out of Time, which was the series of comics that led up to his Secret Wars, was the Cabal and how these villains, including Thanos, get together and sort of have their own agenda on how to, save the world and save our universe. It's very, very fascinating stuff. So hopefully they save Thanos for a role like that, which also kind of makes sense as to why you would drop a cameo like this at the end of Avengers 4, perhaps the Eternals scolding Thanos, imprisoning him, or something to that effect. Now, just a little bit more speculation here. It's kind of cool that they seem to be casting females in the roles for these two Eternals. And I'm starting to think in my head this might be a version of, again, coming from the Jonathan Hickman Time Runs Out run, a version of characters that showed up in that series, either the Builders or the Black Swans. Both of these characters, super powerful beings that come in having knowledge of this grand thing that is happening, which are of course the convergent events where the Earths are colliding into each other and all of these realities are ending. And it was like this big mystery, like everyone's trying to figure out what's going on. The showing up of the Builders and the Black Swans was a big, inciting incident for the Avengers. They were like, oh my gosh, who are these people? And what is this crazy thing that they're talking about? And that sort of led the heroes to understand what the convergence events were. We've recently speculated about how I believe the Builders are going to be introduced in Phase 4 and that they will do sort of a similar version to the conversion events, which are ending all of these realities, some kind of threat not only to our reality but to the multiverse, and the Builders will play a big role in that. Like I said, I think that the Eternals coming in could fill that role and be a nice way to explore stuff within the cosmos and lead us towards the MCU's version of Secret Wars. But that is the news out there, guys. One of the post-credit scenes for Avengers 4, possibly already spoiled, having to do with the Eternals. What do you guys think about this? Do you think it would be a very cool post-credit scene? Are you excited to see the Eternals? Do you think it changes things about what we thought that movie would be about? And what do you think about post-Avengers 4 MCU? There's a lot of questions right now, a lot of cool theories going around. I want to know what you are thinking, so drop your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, let's check that nerd card very quickly. I want to know, what is the name of the Builder that actually assimilated to the Avengers and became a member of the Avengers? Really cool character, very cool look. I want to know, what is the name of the Builder that switched sides and became an Avenger? Answer that question in the comment section below. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video.